big hello to all our viewers and audiences on this live broadcast session by BOH. My name is Sanjay Jha. I'm Director and Promoter at Collateral Medical Pvt Ltd. My quick background is I've been in medical device industry for almost 20 years now, working with GE Healthcare in R&D earlier, and then later with Johnson Johnson in and we started Collateral Medical and Medical Device Distribution Company in almost 9 years ago. I'm a graduate from IIT Kharagpur and an MBA from INSEAD. Uh, Today, we are fortunate to have with us Mr. Rajiv Nath, Managing Director, Hindustan Syringes and Medical Device Limited. Mr. Nath, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to this very special episode of Motivational Monday, hosted by the VOH Broadcast Network. The comprehensive idea of the session is to bring together the healthcare leaders who are setting an example of vocal for local for young entrepreneurs and keeping up with the advancements in healthcare industry. The idea is to promote and spread the recent trends impact on the healthcare industry. We'll be having a few free-flowing chat, and our audiences and viewers are eager to know your esteemed views. And so, without much ado, let's begin. Why don't you start by introducing yourself?
Sure, Sanjay, nice to catch up with you again. Hello, everyone. I'm Rajiv Nath. I'm the MD of HMD. HMD is one of the leading manufacturers in India for medical disposables, plastics. Our primary products are syringes, needles, IV cannulas for drug delivery and infusion, and also blood collection systems and surgical blades. I am also the forum coordinator for IMED, the Association of the Indian Medical Device Industry, and also the joint coordinator for the IMD RRG Indian Medical Device Regulatory Review Forum, and also the UDEMED, the User Developer Academia Industry Initiative, and also the technical chair for ICMED certification.
Thank you, Mr. Nath. It's every time I have interacted with you, I have personally learned a lot. So I hope the bigger audience get benefits from discussion with you too.
Sure.
Specific to the medical device sector, do you think that India has the capability and capacity to manufacture medical devices? Given that a large percentage of medical devices, over 60%, need to be imported. And I've worked with multinationals. I've worked with, say, when I was used to work with J&J, we used to import significant number of products. So looking at that context, so I've had life in both the directions, with domestic players and with the multinationals. What's your take on this?
Take on what?
Take on how you see that. Do you think that India has the capability and capacity to manufacture medical devices?
Yes, of course, very much so. Anything, if we put our minds to it, anything and everything is possible. If India can land a spacecraft on Moon or on Mars, what's stopping us from making anything or everything in India? Okay, there are certain things in our control, certain things not in our control. Finally, a businessman looks at profits. But suppose the government makes it profitable for us, makes it a rewarding experience, provides the policies we are seeking, I'm sure we can make anything and everything in India.
That is very interesting. But one thing I've seen is, since I come from R&D background and the facilities we had in US, GE, and many other places, um, lots of work were happening in the background. Do you think? Do you think that's one area which India need to work on when we are going for the locals?
For which area once again?
The R&D, because when we are looking at medical
Okay,
devices.
so R&D, let me put it like this. When we talk about medical devices, you have to put them into three kind of baskets.
Mhm.
The first basket for a businessman is to make an import substitute product.
Mhm.
whatever is already being used by doctors and hospitals to provide a replica of that
Mm-hmm.
as an indigenous product at a lower cost. That's the first basket.
Mm-hmm.
And in that, we've got a choice of making any medical product from more than 6,000 categories of products being imported and 42,000 crore rupees worth of imports, out of which India is 85% import dependent.
Correct.
So once we've done that, and in one product category, there is already a number of manufacturers. Suppose there are 5 or 10 manufacturers or 15. Then the second part comes that we need to distinguish from the imported competition and the Indian competition. Then we need to have an incremental innovation to show what is our USP, how we are better than the Indian competition or the imported competition. Okay, so then you add some level of R&D. This is called incremental R&D. Okay. The third category is when you are trying to have a disruptive technology or complete innovation. So unless you have, I would say, taken the advantage of the first two, and then you venture into the third category, then you'll be more successful. Alternative is you can straight away jump to the third category as an innovator, as a disruptor, as a developer, a doctor, an engineer, like you mentioned, and go into an R&D and develop a product. But then you may not succeed in marketing or in the complete business model.
Yes.
Then you may make the product, but then you have to hype up the idea, or you have to have partnership with somebody else who will make it a success for you. But all three are possible. The question for businessman is, where does he want to focus upon? What is his strength? And for Indian manufacturers currently, as commercial people, as entrepreneurs, the third category is not our strength. So let us go for the low-hanging fruits first.
And if I look at the market share approximately, what will be the market share of these three categories?
It's again very difficult. So when you talk about the broad basket of products in medical devices, you've got 7 verticals. You've got disposables and consumables. You've got implants and you've got surgical instruments. You've got electronics and equipments. And then you've got IVD reagents. Okay, these are the 7 categories. Now we talked about the 3 variants in each of the 7 categories. So, for example, disposable consumables, we got 60% domestic, 40% imports. In electronics, it is 90% imports, 10% domestic. In the case of IVD reagents, it's again 70 to 80% imports and 20 to 30% domestic. In the case of implants, it is increasingly now becoming domestic, so about 30 to 40% domestic now. In the case of instruments, it's mainly again imports. So more than 80% to 90% is imports. So now again, when you come to these categories, when you divide them, consumables and disposables, most products in consumables and disposables will not be so much innovative because this is something the doctors and nurses are very much habituated to use. They, in fact, abhor innovation. You bring them a change in the product, they resist the change. It's very difficult to enter the market with an innovative product in this category. Now you look at diagnostics, it's other way around. The more the innovation, the more the convenience, the more chances of success for an innovative product to succeed in. So category 3 will do very well over here. In consumables and disposables, category 2 may do a little bit well, but category 3 will be a huge challenge even for a manufacturer like us, with strong market forces and distribution chain to support us. When you come to an implant, in the case of implants, again it is the category B which is going to be the key category, not the category C.
Interesting.
For category C, you would have to have a huge amount of clinical trials, evaluations, and detailing, which would require a huge amount of expense And people may still not believe you as an Indian company that you can be having a disruptive technology to take on the MNCs. There is a question of credibility. So we have to go step by step.
Wow, that breaks the things in really good classification. Could be a very good guide to where to invest for investors in which categories. So,
So
so
what we do
and
is from IMED, we have a, it's also I think on our website, if I'm I'm not sure about it, but I think so. So normally if anybody reaches out to us, there are 147 HS codes for medical devices. And what we've done is that we have uh, done color coding for all the HS codes. So the ones which are having adequate capacity in the country, we code them as red. There's surplus capacity, too much competition, don't invest anymore further over here. Where there is a little bit of manufacturing taking place sporadically, we put them in orange, where we say, welcome to manufacture, but proceed with caution and do a survey. And the category, third category is green category, which is mainly import dependent, where we say, welcome to invest, come forward, and you will have a good support in terms of a market demand because nobody else is competing with you domestically in the country. So these are the categories which we advise openly from IMED.
okay. So on this trending Tuesday, uh, have you seen any good investments coming in the local market lately? How do you see the trend?
Well, the trend has been defined by COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I would say from February middle to March end, many people suddenly realized that the new kid on the block is medical devices. So if you were a travel agent, you were into garment industry, you were making seat covers for cars, suddenly you realized that your chances of your business opening up and doing well in this year is going to be very bleak. The next 3 months, 6 months looked very dark. The only silver lining that could be seen immediately in March, middle and beginning was medical devices.
Mm-hmm.
And in that category, again, there were a few COVID products. So the government had, and we had made a category of about 33 initially and then 39 medical devices which were unique to COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And the government and IMED, we encouraged manufacturing to take place in these 39 product categories where we knew the demand is going to be coming up very steeply and where the imports were being disrupted. So since imports were not taking place because China closed down in February because of the Chinese New Year,
Mm-hmm.
and in March, COVID happened more substantially. So China did not encourage the opening up post the holidays also.
Mm-hmm.
And then many countries, including India, stopped the imports coming in terms of international flights in
Mm-hmm.
most cases. So you certainly had a disruption of supply chain. And people realized shortages are there and they're going to be increasing. So immediately people ran towards importing machinery to make masks, to make N95 masks, to make ventilators, so gloves. So immediately there were people were scurrying to make specialized products like thermometers, digital thermometers, temperature scanners, oximeters. So there was a big rush for this. This was the trend in the last 6 months where there has been a huge focus, I would say.
And we have seen that even ourselves. So since we trade, we used to import significant numbers, say from China. And if I look at our business, it used to be around 60% import and 40% domestic purchase. Now it is almost 80% domestic purchase and 20% import, right? And it feels good. It really feels good that the India medical device sector is progressing. And if I look at PPE, we can supply to the world, entire world, right? Forget about our own requirements. So wherever we have put our heads in, we have done a remarkable job, and yeah, IMED has been a big help to everyone. Yeah.
Mr. Jha, let me put a question to you.
Mm.
You're importing. So, in which of these products you find out it is very difficult to import and compete with domestic market producers?
Um, Consumables. So consumables is India rocks. Okay.
No,
Uh,
within this
uh,
COVID products, PPE,
in,
coveralls,
yeah. So
goggles,
PPE covers,
masks.
masks. Okay. I still see that pulse oximeter is we import. Okay, because that's one area which we need to improve upon. Thermometers we need to perhaps a little bit improve upon. Okay, but pretty much if I look from the consumable angle, consumable COVID products are what India is doing very well. Equipment is the area where we perhaps need to improve upon.
Fair enough. My thoughts too. Yeah. Okay, next question.
So now HMD has been on forefront of local, like one of the flagship companies which had been doing very very well for quite some time, and everybody else is learning from HMD. So what is HMD's response to PM Modi's call to go vocal for local, India's healthcare industry?
Well, uh, for other people must be a new response because they may be importing or manufacturing something else.
Mhm.
But in our case, we have been doing it since the company was born in 1957. So we were the people who pioneered glass syringes manufacturing in the country, pioneered manufacturing surgical blades in the country. So we did not pioneer, of course, IV cannulas or needle manufacturing, but yes, high quality products in this category. I would say we were the pioneers. So in terms of automation, in terms of high quality products which could be exported to countries like USA or Germany or UK. So in that respect, yes. So and we were one company who had always been making our own components. We were not a sticker company importing something and putting our label on and just marketing. So our company is not known to be an importer and we are not known to be a marketing company. We are a 100% manufacturing company. We have got a very limited basket of hardly 7 product lines. We don't have a thick
Mhm.
catalog like many of my competition.
Yeah.
Very thin catalog. But in those 7 product lines, we try to be the top three, top five in the world. And we try to make everything in house. So, for example, for the needles, syringes, we make not only our needles, we also make the cannula grinding, the point grinding in house. We also
Okay.
make the capillary pipe, stainless steel pipe in house. So
Mhm.
everything is vertically integrated. Same thing for surgical blades. Even the plant and machinery or the tools or the press tools for making the surgical blades, these are made in house. And this has allowed
Wow.
us to become one of the top three manufacturers for blades in the world. So that's our concept of a local. We've always been.
So, but has COVID changed your mindset in any ways? Uh, in the last 5 6 months, from HMD point of view, uh,
From
how
HMD
the how?
point of view, no, I wouldn't say no. We did not rush to make these products because from IMED I could see many people are rushing to make these products, which were
Mhm.
low-hanging fruits. And from HMD, I told you I'm very selective. We don't want to chase a thick catalog. Whatever we want to make, we want to be in the top three, top five in the world. If we find it is something easy to make, let other people make it. If something can be made on a tabletop assembly, let somebody else make it. It has to be a challenging engineering product which requires high-end automation, high level of consistency, high level of management inputs over there. Only then we venture into a product, not just any kind of product.
So very focused approach in place of just looking at opportunistic view, like
Yes,
have
we've
much
never
have.
been, we are not a trader, we're not opportunistic, we're not chasing short-term goals. Today this is profitable, we can make a quick buck, we have got a distribution chain of 4,000 dealers, we got 70 plus marketing team all over the country, we got 200 dealers outside of India selling 160 countries, so let's add this product to our basket and make it a bigger catalog. No, we are not a supermarket. We are specialists and we are known for our special products.
Perfect. And do you see the current times, especially the bad press of China all across the globe? Do you see it impacting the business positively in near future or longer term for us?
Yeah, I would say it's been a very interesting roller coaster ride. So when COVID happened, from day one, we never stopped our factories. Right, the very first morning, in fact, we had forewarned all our employees through messages when we heard Mr. Modi's speech and told everybody to report at least 1 hour earlier for work to avoid any disruptions of any police stopping them for lockdown purposes, and to inform everybody that there's going to be production because we are an essential product company. And we immediately reached out to the local administration, and they were all cooperative, whether the police or the local administration, the DC, and everybody. And we sought formal approvals which were not there, so that we
Hmm.
could give written approvals to our employees to come in, because we knew that this would be a challenge. And it
Correct.
became a challenge. So there was no concept of a e-pass, there was no concept of a written pass, there was no concept. So in fact, we were the pioneers, I would say, who created all that. And whatever problems we faced, we discussed immediately with Secretary DOP and the government in Delhi.
Hmm.
And every problem that we would relate to them, immediately we would get suggestions. Within 24 or 48 hours, they would make a central guideline. But thankfully, the local Haryana administration and our local admin in Faridabad were more supportive. And for most issues, even if there were stigma issues, police issues for hitting out, beating our employees, we worked out with them as to how to address their apprehensions. So if the I card has to be carried, it will not be carried inside the pocket, it has to be carried hanging outside. So small, simple things were done, color coding was done, so they could make out from a distance that this person is coming with this color code of band. That means he's an HMD employee. So once we did it for ourselves, within 2 3 days, we did it for all our ancillaries. And we gave a list of our 40 50 ancillaries in Faridabad who made our various packaging materials and components or consumables. And we shared that with the local administration and central government and sought permission for them also. So that kind of proactivity kept us always ahead of the curve, I would say. And this was the beginning. So we thought there is going to be a huge shortage, but the shortage actually didn't come around. In fact, the government also announced that don't visit the hospitals except for essential surgeries or essential needs. So people were asked to delay and postpone visits. So that depressed the demand. And when lockdown started opening up in April and May beginning, then the problem came when the government said that COVID and non-COVID will be common facilities. And with that, actually, the market completely had a slump. So exports did very well. Market had a big slump. We've lost a big production demand in surgical blades to less than half. In our IVD line for blood collection tubes and systems to less than one third. Disposables, we came down by nearly 30 40%, but it's been improving steadily after June.
Okay.
So we are at 75 to 90% now for most of our product lines. That's improved. Exports did very well till now, but going forward, we are more optimistic.
Thanks a lot for talking about how it affected you. And things, have also seen that things have started improving a lot for even our businesses. Sir, being a medical device manufacturer, I'm pretty sure you agree that a strong infrastructure, supportive policies for competition, and innovation plays an important role in building up an industry like HMD. Please share your views regarding this.
Well, yes, that's where from HMD we've always believed in. When we had the threat of BD coming into India as an MNC trying to kill us, we had a serious chat with our sales team and with our dealer network. And after that, we took a call, we're going to fight it out. And to fight it out, we realized we had to buy the best. So we went shopping. We went to the best machine suppliers in Japan, we went to the best machine suppliers in Switzerland, in Germany, in Italy, and till now we have the same philosophy. So we buy from the best if we have to compete with the best. We don't feel shy of investing in the most superior technologies worldwide. That's the kind of infrastructure we create for ourselves, and we don't believe in depending on the government for that. That's our business requirement. We have to do that, whether to make a quality instrument or a machine, and if we can't buy it, we will make it. So we do both. In terms of going forward, the key thing for us is now ramping up the capacities and preparing ourselves. We try to tell the government on that. The government did not listen to us, but we told UNICEF and WHO on that. They listened to us. So going forward for vaccine delivery, the big challenge is going to be is adequate supplies of specialized order disabled syringes for vaccination. So we are building up stockpile for that at our end. We are helping UNICEF to create a stockpile for them at their end. And we are also ramping up capacity to 1 billion syringes by middle of next year. We already have moved from 500 million to 700 million this year. By October, by first quarter next year, we'll be doing 800 million. And by June, we should be touching hopefully about 1 billion. And with that, we expect to take care of the Indian requirement and the key international requirement, because we're the largest producer for AD syringes worldwide.
Perfect, and I wish you all the best. Like, that's an amazing thing happening. While everybody's talking about lack of investment, business going down, you are there building up the capacity and getting ready for tomorrow.
Yes, in fact, even for other product lines, we are being optimistic. So we are adding capacity. We are adding also manpower, and we are also, building up the digital infrastructure in that respect. Those are things which will be required more in the future.
So that brings me to an interesting question, especially for guys like lots of young guys. So you must have faced lots and lots of challenges to reach at this point where you are. What's your advice to the budding healthcare stakeholders?
To them, I would say, number one, be very focused. If you hold a glass to the sunlight, you can burn the blade of grass and create a fire. Second is perseverance. Unless you achieve what you've set your mind upon, you have to be tenacious, like a terrier dog. Just never leave it until you achieve it. So many times people try to distract me with other ideas, other inputs, but we are always very focused, whether in IMED or in HMD, that whatever we put our minds upon, until that policy goal or that product turnover goal or that wastage goal is achieved, we will keep on chasing it. And until we achieve it, we'll not move to the next thing.
Perfect. So, and you have been one of the person always helping VOH. So what do you think about VOH broadcasts?
Well, when the whole VOH started, it was a very small, cohesive WhatsApp group, and we used to debate a lot on WhatsApp. I think it was about 4 or 5 years back, and it's been a very interesting journey with Mr. Sachin Bajaj, and so all of you in VOH have become like an extended family. So very interesting debates, and from the WhatsApp group, we've now migrated to have a more formal structure in VOH. So whatever you people are doing, it's a good partnership. We are happy to always cooperate with you and work with you. The objectives are the same: providing affordable healthcare to the people of India in an ethical manner, whether you do it from the doctor's front, from the supplier's front, or the manufacturer's front. So all the stakeholders in the ecosystem, we have the same common objective.
Thanks a lot, and you have been a guiding light to most of us. So I wish we could go on with this truly engaging discussion, but unfortunately, that's all the time we have today. Thank you, sir, so much for wonderfully illuminating and inspiring session. I'm sure the points and themes we touched upon today will provoke positive thinking and trigger timely interventions within the healthcare community in India and around the world, and play an important part in taking us all forward together. Our viewers and audiences like me are grateful to you for sharing your precious time and esteemed opinion with us. We hope to have you again with us.
Thank you. Appreciate.